Hey everybody. Well, as you know, it's hotter than hell here in Eugene, and I've been thinking about how can I future-proof my house because I think this is going to get worse down the road. And my answer is to grow some more fig trees. Now, I have a fig tree out front. Let's go look at her really quick. Here we are. Isn't she beautiful? And yeah, you can see it there are some nice big fat figs. I checked them this morning when I watered. They're not quite ready, but they're going to be very soon. They're starting to kind of flop over. So when they go and they kind of start to flop over, these are starting to. So I went and poked around. You can see there's all kinds of them. And they're, see how they're kind of, this one up here is just standing up straight. It'll fill out a little bit more and then kind of flop over. The one down here is starting to a little bit. So I keep moving the reminder on my calendar back. Now this one I just did a little trimming on it. I don't want it to get too tall. It's not the right time to trim, but it's putting on growth right now for next year, and I want to direct some of that. So I did do some thinning. There were quite a number of suckers around the base here, and that I trimmed up, and one of those is going to be an amazing tree. And you can see even on the suckers there's fruit, which means that that's a female branch. It's not a male rootstock throwing a sucker. These are self-pollinating, so you can have one and it'll produce. They're very hardy, they're cold hardy, very few insect problems. There's a tiny wasp that lives up near the stem, and so when you go to eat these, just don't bite that part off or slice it off in the kitchen. So you can see right here that this branch, how there's a kind of a nice crown, multiple branches coming out. This one kind of took off, but I got to bring these trees down a little bit. They're a little bit too tall. But it's going to give me a nice crop, and they throw good shade. They like a lot of heat, and so this is the south side of the house. They want to get at least 5 hours of direct sunlight like this, and this is a great place. So I'm going to do 2 more on the south side of the house. I'm going to do one on the north corner up there by the boat, and then this side of the property is where I'm going to put the big tall one, because it will be right about this height right here when I plant it. So, because it'll be about a foot shorter than it currently is. It might be even higher. So that's going to start to grow in the middle of this side of the house, and that'll give me a shade canopy. So I just bought some shade cloth. I'm going to put a shade curtain across here, which is going to help quite a bit. But I think having a big tree here is really going to help me. And then I know there's other places in the yard, like in the back here in the chicken yard, I'd like to have some shade here, and I can prune them short. You know, like this is an old cherry tree. It just got too big and it gets in the power lines, and then they cut it and it rots from the top down. So I think some figs back here would be ideal, just to provide a little coolness. So let's go in the house. I'll show you what I did. So figs are really easy to cultivate. You just put them in some water. I did add some rooting hormone powder just to help stimulate them, and I do recommend that you rinse that water out every couple days. So you can see I've got a lot of starts in here, some smaller ones. I think there's a couple, 3 or 4 smaller ones. There's about 4, looks like here, pretty good sized medium ones. So those are about 40 inches, 42 inches, so 3.5 feet. And then I have this big baby here. Look at this. So this one is almost 7 feet. That's the one I'm going to put out by the fireplace. Sorry about the fly trap, but it works. Now you see I did put a string here up to the ceiling hook, because I figure if I can hold the tall one up, then the rest won't tip over. We'll see how long that lasts. So my thinking is by doing a big branch like this, and it's got a nice crown. It's got 3 different shoots. That's really lovely to get one of these started. And I've already topped the ends here, so we're going to shorten up some of the growth. Right now we're going to go into the roots. I'm probably going to denude the fruit because I don't think they'll live, but once again, that indicates female stalk, which you want. And I've left about 3 leaves, you can see here on the ends of these. So that'll give them some canopy to get some light in the short term, and they'll have to develop. But this is going to be the tree that goes out by the fireplace next fall. So I'll plant it in the fall. It'll get rained on all winter and the roots will get well established, and next year it'll start growing. So I'm going to add more fig trees to my property. Easy maintenance, they don't take a lot of water. Very few pests will be attracted to them, and then it's a fruit wasp. They make some amazing treats. I have a dehydrator and I can dry these, and you can freeze them, eat them fresh. They're just, it's like orgasm on your tongue. That's sweet. It's amazing. So more figs, and having some on the south end of the property over here is going to be good because it'll shade that into the house. I have another plan that I'm going to take some of my plastic landscaping mesh that I have for trellising, and I'm going to build a grid on that back wall, and I'm going to move my 2 hop plants out of the greenhouse and put on there and let that hop grow a canopy like 2 feet away from the house. So it'll just be a wall of hops on that grid, and that will shade the house. So I'm trying to future-proof, think about how I'm going to manage this new climate. And these are my ideas. So more figs. Because figs, well, they are just amazing. Dive Girl Deb signing off. Bye bye, guys.